gets berated on the podcast we've created to commemorate action flicks, big horror, no tricks. John Travolta, Chuck Norris, insane clown posse, no fuss, no mercy, we discuss. Everything gets berated, no one is underrated. From the screen to the stage, except a new cage. No mercy, we engage.
Welcome to Everything Gets Berated, where we talk about
that.
Indie horror. Yeah, I think they
Where we what? What'd you say about indie horror?
talk about everything other than indie horror,
Oh, I guess that's right.
including NOS fuel dumpster fires,
God
like
damn it.
the Fast and the Furious. Brian's
Dude.
pick.
Yeah, I mean, you don't got to tell everybody, but sure.
It's your pick. It's your pick.
This was
They need to know
Brian.
this.
Hello, everybody. I am Anthony,
And I am
that
Brian.
is Brian with a B. And with us on this, Everything Gets Berated episode is Kane.
What's up? That's all I have to say.
All right. So this month was you might need to turn your volume down then. This month was my pick.
Yes,
and
it was.
the reason why, man, okay, hear me out. I think the reason why I chose The Fast and the Furious, the first one, was I think that everyone except for The President's Man, like they've been movies. Oh, remember that movie when we were younger and it was cool? You know, like I don't think that we've berated movies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I knew that I did not like this movie.
I did too.
I think I've let it be known. You know what I'm saying?
I personally, I liked it, but
That's because Kane is in love with cars. Maybe we should take a picture of your wall. How many?
Okay, even if you're
How
in
many
love with
cars do you have?
this one missed the mark.
Oh, hold on.
I have-
Sorry.
I have
Go
at
ahead,
least
go ahead.
20 Lego cars in my room, just on my shelf. Just
All
at
right.
least.
Sorry, Anthony. What?
No, I was going to say, like, even if you're in love with cars, this one misses the mark because, like, if it's supposed to be like, I'll get into it. I'll get into it. 'cause
All
we
right,
get into
all
it.
right.
I have background information.
I liked
Ooh.
it, but it was like all of the, how do I say this, Japanese cars.
The wrong reasons. All right. So I chose the movie because I think we have to live up to our name every once in a while. We need to berate
Yeah.
something.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So basically, this movie came out in 2001, right?
Yes.
So
Pretty curious
basically, the gist, it's about some secret service agent who infiltrates a race gang, gains all their friendship, and then they go and kill a bunch of Asian mob families, and he loses his cars, and the race gang leader gets to leave, and he keeps his job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much, right?
Or at
That
least what we
sums
think.
it up.
the movie in a nutshell. Yeah.
At least what
okay.
All
we
right,
think.
and we can end the episode now,
All right.
right? Good
Right, that's it,
night.
guys. No. But no, the background on this. Okay, so basically, there was a movie called The Fast and the Furious in 1954. And people
Shut
get
up.
confused. Yeah, no joke. I'm not making it up. Like
God
Roger
damn
Corman.
it.
You know, we've talked about Roger Corman. Roger Corman, the guy that is responsible for New World Pictures and Doctor Strange in 1978.
God damn it.
He before he had New World Pictures, he made a movie called The Fast and the Furious about this race in Mexico that is like the Baja 500s. It's what it's supposed to be, basically.
Just want you to know that you're getting me even more mad.
I know that. And I'm enjoying every minute of this.
Because there's cameras on all of us, and thankfully this episode, dude, are you kidding?
Wait, no, I'm definitely not kidding. So then,
God damn it.
around 2001, there was an article written about like street racers that race exotics, and that guy has a writer's credit in the movie. So they needed a title for their movie, so they bought the title from The Fast and the Furious 1954.
Exotics
But-
are basically like expensive cars, rare,
Yeah.
hard to find.
Which this movie misses the mark on that completely. But
Like, I'm not kidding; they actually do. Like, I can't
Mazda
tell you.
Miatas,
Uh-huh.
Jettas, like
RX-7s.
cars you buy at the dealership, not exotics.
Not even at the dealership. Cars
We
that you
went-
buy off of the fucking
You can go
Cars
to
that
the used car lot right there on the corner.
Cars that
Yeah.
you buy off of Tmall.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much. But so that like they bought the rights to the original title. So the when you see these weird wonky titles later on, like Too Fast, Too Furious, The
Too
Fast and
Fast.
Furious, to Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, like they
Damn it.
couldn't say the Fast and Furious 2, the Fast and Furious 3 because Roger Corman still owned that. But
But he only made one movie?
he made one movie back in 1954 and never made another one.
But
What
he
about-
owns the rights to. Well, I mean, thankfully, I don't know,
He
man.
owns the rights to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to Oblivion.
That just
What?
doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like people who made something called like rated R, but then when you say like R rated, that's not kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's not the same. You can't say I own the rights to like, I don't know, like Nike, for instance. You think they have the Hiracha 2K something? You think do you have to buy the patent for 2K 150? You know what I'm saying, Kane?
Yeah. I
Like
understand.
if you bought the rights to like, I don't know, what's something in your room?
Lego.
But you know, if somebody came out with like Lego 2.0, Lego 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.5.
What is
This-
that? Like, I don't understand how you would,
That's what I'm saying. You think you have to buy a patent for every single one of those? 1, 2, 3. Or you think
Yeah.
they're just like, you know what? Like, remember when we first started our other podcast?
it's like saving money. Like it's saving money, but gaming the system. You still get that stuff, but you're saving money because you're not buying all that stuff.
It just doesn't make any sense. Our other
I know.
podcast have those dick faces went and added one word.
Oh yeah. It took off a word.
Oh yeah.
They took off a word, which it's cheap. But
But
yeah, so
all right.
that's the whole idea is basically after the first one, they couldn't use the title Fast and Furious 2 or 3 or whatever. Like
that's so fucking lame.
that's why you have
Yeah.
like the Fate of the Furious, Fast 9, Fast X. It's like
God damn it.
now you're just confusing me.
Yeah, I
Like,
have.
I think like, oh,
I have a
what?
thing. Remember that time when I was like, "What if there's a thing like Fast, and Furious, and the?"
yeah. Well, it's the same thing like 21 Jump Street. Do you think they own Jump Street? So, like, if we made out a movie called, like, 7052 Jump Street, you think they'd be like, nope, that's copywritten, bro. You can't
Probably
use that movie.
You'd have to look, but they probably own a lot of the numbers just
I
to
know.
keep people off it.
7 Jump Street.
Right? Like, that's just crazy. Like,
Like
But do
it's
you
not
think-
even in the same category of numbers. Like 20, sure, you don't have to get the 20 because they own the 20, but 7,
yeah.
it's not even in the tens.
But, all right. Should we fucking start this? I'm going to
Alright.
start off with my grumpy ass. Okay. So,
You did this
as
yourself.
of today at 4:38 p.m., I have seen The Fast and the Furious 2.75 times. Every time it just gets worse and worse, man. I'm sorry.
No,
like-
it does not age well.
I don't
No.
want to I love the concept. I think the cars back then were cool. I like the paint jobs. I like everything like that, like the shit, but just so you know, I picked Kane up from school today and I knew that he had to finish watching this movie, so I've been drinking since 3:30 this afternoon. So, this is what I get for choosing this movie, I guess. But it just keeps I've made my notes for the entire movie And there's so many times I wanted to just go grab my phone while Kane watched the second half of the movie and been like, God damn it, I missed this. And I wanted to just put more notes and more notes, you know? But so the movie starts out.
Yeah.
Clearly, it wasn't, dude. And you know what? I didn't know that it came out in 2001. I graduated high school in 2000. I thought this shit came out.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I thought this shit came out in 2000.
Yeah,
like I thought this shit came out my senior year.
Yeah, I worked at Hollywood Video when this came out.
Like all of these,
this was the free movie.
All of these old cars that are in this movie, I'm like,
well, I mean, they weren't old cars back when the movie came out. That's the thing.
No hit.
They were older cars. Like they were like most of the cars in the movie were in the 1900s when the movie came out. But that's not. That's still the Honda Civic, the MK4, the S2000s, the RX-7s. Those all had to come out with 19.
When this movie came out, we had people in our town that had like the decked out Civics and the Eclipses and the Jettas and shit like that. And there was one guy. His initials are CF. That's the only clout I'm going to give this guy. His initials were CF. And he had a fucking banging sister. So I hope that you hear this because you're going to be like, wait a second, you son of a bitch. That was me. He had and then this even more, going to give him fucking more clout. He had a lime green car. Now you know what I'm talking about. He had shaved handles. You know what shaved handles are?
I don't.
They do not have handles to open the car door. So the only way in or out of your car, well, in your car is a fob. So he had shaved handles. So his car was 100% smooth. There's no fucking handles to open the doors or anything like that.
Well, yeah, there's cars with that today.
Yeah.
No, I think the last time there was like, I think the Chevy 52 trucks or something like that had shaved handles, but there's not a lot of cars like that. So like, for instance, like Lamborghini and stuff like that, they have buttons that you push like on the top of them that they open up the doors and stuff like that. These ones is just called shaved handles and they just work off of like magnetic shit. But anyways, when this movie came out in that town that we were at, they told the people, hey, on opening night or whatever like that, if you guys have a decked out car like this, you can park on the sidewalk in front of the fucking theater and you can come in. So a bunch of these fucking people did that. And you're like, what the fuck? Don't get me wrong. There were nice cars back when I was fucking 17 years old, you know? And so, like, you watch the movie and you're like, you know, that guy's like 44 in this movie, right? So you're 44 and you're driving around in a fucking decked out Mitsubishi Eclipse with the exact same decal as the other person driving and the exact same motherfucking spoiler and everything like that. Like, dude, tell me that you fucking don't get a bunch of chicks without telling me that you don't get a bunch of chicks. Or tell me that you're fucking Matthew McConaughey from fucking Dazed and Confused. Just get older, I get older, and they stay the same age.
All right.
God damn it.
It's like, tell me that you're single without telling me you're single.
Pretty much.
So this movie more or less starts out with, where did we start? I remember.
I don't even know where this takes place. Does it take place? No.
Los Angeles.
Stop. Like L.A.?
No.
Yeah, it takes place in LA. That's what the caption. That's what the like, not the movie title, like the thing that gives you a hint of the movie. Said
you go to LA and find me any streets like that. Those streets were San Francisco streets.
Oh yeah, because they're jumping.
Because every time they go through the intersection, they're just like boom, and they jump. Yeah,
they're doing that bullet jump. You know, like the Steve McQueen movie. Yeah, they're trying to redo that.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, goddamn! I think that I've gone off my rant long enough before we even got into this.
You know the where they're street racing. I like to point out that all the cars were 100% CGI. Like they didn't look real at all. Like it was going so fast, and
I think what
they didn't look real. They didn't look real.
We'll get to that in a second. because
there was a part of it where
looks like they're in a rocket ship.
they're either in a rocket ship or they didn't want to pay for like good CGI, so they're like, "Can you just blur it?"
You know, it'd
so
be
we
funny.
Don't have to define anything.
You know how we always get those people that email us and text us like, "Hey, asshole, this was actually what happened." Well, if there's like, actually, Brian, Anthony, and Kane, it was a CGI. They really were going 160 miles an hour within a fucking quarter mile.
What? I like how 10-second car, and the 10-second. They kept saying 10-second car, 10-second car.
Yes.
And that was more than 10 seconds. That was probably like an entire minute scene.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So when I worked at without saying its name, Anthony, when your wife and I worked at the same store, except in fucking goddamn 50 miles away from each other, I had an employee who was a racer. And so I bought a Mazda 3 4-door, right?
Wait, a Mazda Speed 3? Or a Mazda...
Nope, just 3? A regular Mazda, the one that we have out front. So we bought that, and I had 2 employees that were big into racing, and they're just like, "Yeah, this is a 4-second car." So when they keep talking about 10-second cars, when they just, like, my employees are like, "Yeah, this is a 4-second car. You ever heard of a 4-second car? Hell no!" And I was like, "What?" So basically, what if you don't know what a 4-second car is or a 10-second car, that's how long it takes for you to go a quarter mile. Or no, wait. Sorry. I think that's from 0 to 60, and then sometimes it's like a quarter mile, whatever it is. So if I was like, it takes me 10 seconds to get to 60 miles an hour, what the fuck? I can ride a bike 60 miles like in 10 seconds, you know? One time, he's like,
I like how
dude,
they got at least 60 miles an hour right off the start, and they have to. They think that they can have a 10-second car. Now that I know what it is, even though it goes 60 miles an hour on the start. I bet I could ride my bike faster and gap the car by the time I probably reached the finish line with my bike. I bet that they'd be the quarter mile back with like a 10-second to get 60 miles an hour.
No.
The Corvette painting that's hanging in my room can go faster.
I mean,
all right.
Like, I looked it up. It was like basically a 10-second car is like for a quarter mile is like topping out at 130 to 150, and that's for a low 10-second. So like 160, they're under 10 seconds, but it's like it's not that fast.
Yeah, they were saying like, 4-second, 5-second cars are like the exotic cars, the Lamborghinis, the hypercars, and shit like that. But guess what? Have you seen like Teslas? They got some balls, man. You know. But anyways, all right. So let's just skip ahead. Let's skip ahead here. I'll just do the gist of some more shit.
So basically, like the beginning of this movie is like Paul Walker is this guy that is trying to get in with Vin Diesel. So he shows up at the what is it, the grocery store?
No, he shows up at ew, you know what? What the fuck does he show up at?
It's like a restaurant / grocery store. It's like a family mom and pop thing.
No, because that's the same place where the cars go. That's the same.
On the other side?
I guess. So, damn it. So, I was saying that it clearly starts out in 2001 because the credits and everything like that. But then the opening scene is the Civics that are robbing the semi truck.
No, they're like terrorizing it, kind of like.
Nope, they robbed it.
Oh yeah,
so they use harpoons, like harpoon guns, and you're like, dude. So why doesn't the semi truck just what's bigger? Believe it or not, the semi truck is bigger than those little pussy ass Honda Civics. Sorry, I'm getting in so much trouble this episode. Like I said, dude, I've been pre-gaming since
I like
3/3 of this
how-
episode. That's how angry I am with this episode, Anthony. You know why I know that Anthony doesn't like me? Because he let me choose. We were just
Hey.
talking about that the other day. If you ever show up to my house wearing mutton chops, I'm like, Anthony, what are you doing, man? And you'll be like, you know what, Brian, I appreciate you, bro. You see?
I told you when you picked this that I didn't.
I know.
Like
You're just like, Brian, I don't
warned
think we
you.
should do it. I remember,
I warned
man.
you.
I'm sorry.
Yes. But okay,
So-
so it just feels like you literally could film one scene of them robbing the truck and then show that over and over again every time they rob a truck because it all feels the same.
Well, I think they only robbed one truck.
Three,
No, yeah, three. Because
two
one of the
successful, and then the what is it? The other guys got their number.
Yeah, he does. And that's the funny thing is like they made it seem, well, hold on. Before we get into that one. So Brian, who's Paul Walker,
Yes,
goes to the same restaurant where it's got to be a restaurant Jiffy Lube combo.
it's gonna be
you
like
know what I'm saying?
combo. Yeah,
like you know those like pit stops that we maybe take if we're going on a road trip. I feel like they're like one of those because it's like a pawn shop and like not a pawn shop, but it's like a gas station. Like so the gas stations have Subway and stuff like that, except it's a fast food joint.
Yeah. And then I like to point out that he orders the most disgusting sandwich ever. Like,
A tuna
you know, like if you go
sandwich?
to a gas station, there's one unspoken rule that everybody in the entire world knows. If you go to a gas station, you don't order sushi.
well, he orders the tuna fish sandwich, but he orders it like a 5-year-old. Like, cut the crusts.
I mean, if you cut the crust on a sandwich, your kid eats more of the sandwich.
Okay, but
You
he's
know
an
what I'm
adult.
saying?
Yeah, that's true.
He's an
You know?
adult.
What if
But at
the
the same
kid?
time, is there one food, Anthony, that you can eat every day for 21 days straight for lunch?
Yeah,
What?
No.
Well, no,
Uh,
you can't even tell Kane that because for 5 years straight, he has had, well, no, never mind. I was
so
about to say the 80% of the time that Kane brings lunch to school, he has a
ham and
ham and
cheese.
turkey sandwich. But I switch up the cheese. You know, I switch up the bread. I
I
switch
think I
up,
could
you know.
probably eat maybe peanut butter and jelly sandwich for 21 days straight. Because how long was I in Idaho? Because every single day I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, except for those 2 days. 2 days.
No. You know, so then even
then,
Kane,
then
when we're-
Justin shows up, or no, is it Vince?
Vince. Well, yes. And so here's the part that like it's funny to us is so Brian's up there eating and the whole gang shows up, right?
Yeah.
And when the gang shows up, even Kane, the very first thing he said when Dom's girlfriend popped out when she was rocking those boots, he's like, "Those are ugly." He said, "Those are fucking ugly." And I said, "What'd you just say?"
It
And
wasn't.
he had to get pump a soap in his mouth. cursing.
They weren't the girls' boots. I think they were Vince's.
Nope, they were Dom's girlfriend's boots. I am 100% positive because I've seen that scene 3 times.
Yeah, the fire boots,
That's-
right?
Messed up. But yeah, those boots, they looked like the have you seen the videos where it's like the coolest gadgets and like the $1 one was the Black Panther shoes and you step in them.
Gross.
Have you
So
seen
here's
those?
something.
They look so bad. Like they look like my teacher's shoes. One of my teachers, their shoes.
Hopefully none of your teachers listen to this goddamn podcast.
It's like
Well, I don't know.
it's
They
like
look like if like Guy Fieri
they look
decided
like
to like accessorize his shirt. Sorry, go ahead.
So I got to match my shirt, my hair, and my shoes.
my
Please.
the shoes that one of my teachers has is they look like the big red boots but sandals.
Jesus.
Like they have this ginormous matte sole with the matte like thing. Like they look like house slippers, just the big red boots. Like they're not red, but they're tan, but they still look like those ugly big red boots. I do not like them. I was like, what?
So, Anthony, back in your town when this movie
Yes.
came out, and the people that had those type of cars, how did they dress?
I mean, that was
Did they
around that
just-
time that like you had the like I think I mentioned this in text. It's like you had the gelled hair and the puka shell necklaces and
Yeah, that's
Okay.
you
true.
know like all that stuff. They didn't put puka shell necklaces in here. Maybe they're trying to be not so on the nose.
So
But-
what? So if you were to, I guess, classify one of the those people that have those cars, what would you classify their? What would you classify them as?
Like I don't know.
So
Like-
the people in my town,
Not
I was
good
heard
looking.
about street racers. We never saw them because they were out
Oh,
at night
dude.
and
ours were fucking Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister and that
yeah.
type of shit. They were not fucking grunge and hippie. I have it in my notes. I was like, they just look like a bunch of goddamn hippies mechanics. No. Everybody who had hell no. I was just joking with those texting last night. Everybody who had those decked out cars were the rich preppy kids who had Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister and fucking
Like my cousin.
whatever those other ones are, you know?
Yeah.
There's no way that those, like, we were joking about, like, they come out rocking, like, fucking chains and the double tank tops and they look greasy and all this other shit. And then you're just like, those kids weren't the ones that were driving those kind of cars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because they try to like every man the street racing thing, but like if you're putting $15,000-$20,000 of a kit, like
You
into
can't
your-
be exactly.
yeah,
you
where
can't-
$100,000 so you can win like
coming from.
$5 from a straight race. Like $100,000 under a hood
Yeah,
just so you can win like $5 from a street race.
And who's putting 2 racks down?
And that's another thing too that I also put up in my notes is that, and so then the next it goes up to what Brian finally goes to a street race, and
Yeah.
the street race, and then he's like, "Hey guys, I'd like to be in a thing," and he's like joking around like, "Hey, yeah, look at me, everybody," and they're just like, "It's $2,000," and he's like, "I don't have $2,000, but I got the pink slip." And they're just like, let's see what's under the hood. And then they start
Yeah.
going, you know. And then I love it how he's like, yo, check it. It's like this. What? You don't fucking talk like that, bro. Like,
Oh my
God
God.
damn it. I was so angry when he was doing it.
Does talk like a rapper for like the bulk of the
Dude.
movie. What's up, bro?
Dude. And then this is where Kane was talking about. So then finally they look at and they're just like, all right, your fucking car's cool enough, you know? And then how Kane just said, if I spent fucking $100,000 under my hood, even though my car only cost, you know, $8,000, like, why would I put up $108,000 against your $2,000?
Yeah.
If I can afford $108,000, I don't need $6,000.
Which okay, there's a bunch of weird stuff that Brian, not you, Brian, the movie Brian does that make like they keep asking, is he a cop? Is he a cop? If you have to keep asking yourself this question, I think you have your answer.
I mean, maybe, I guess. But my
Because,
favorite
like,
scene
You
too.
put up an $80,000 car in a $2,000 street race. What is going on?
Well, everybody was doing that shit. You know, because later on in the movie, we'll talk about that. But yeah, so then all of a sudden, like the funniest shit was going on where they're racing, and all of a sudden, Brian hits that NOS. And fucking his car starts falling apart, and fucking the Flintstone system comes into play. Or like,
What is it? The manifold, goes out, and like the floor or the metal piece falls onto the floor.
meaning that there's a hole in your fucking car.
Yeah,
and
why
he
was it like
burns
that?
out his engine. Like,
Yeah. So it just goes, I don't know. Like like I said, all those bolts were just flying and everything like that. Like it,
like it wasn't the normal carpeted floor. Like it was just this metal, like thing. Like why was it metal?
You have an $80,000 car and you're driving it like you stole it. Like, does money grow on trees?
You have you have like $100,000 car, and you put like $100,000 in upgrades in it, and I'm surprised they were all going straight with like how.
And like I said, like all of a sudden they start going 160 miles an hour within a quarter mile.
I like
and
how
it looks like it's just lasers, like they're flying through space with it.
I
And
like
then he
how
gets out of his car smiling. Hold on. Gets out of his car smiling. He's like, hey, everybody. Hey, I almost had you. And you're just like,
Okay.
how's your car still driving? I just saw your car explode and you have holes in it.
Move past the best part of that entire race. Jaw rule.
Oh,
Like,
Jaw,
because this is the part that people
rule.
love to remember because it's supposed to be this big comedic moment, and it does really work. Like, this
I
is
don't
one
think
of
it's
the parts.
supposed to be comedic. I think that people were serious.
No, he plays it so funny. It's like the girl comes up to him and she's like, "If you win or lose, you've got me. But if you win, you get her." Like, and he's like, "Menage." Like,
He's like, Menage. And he was so sad when he got past. I made Kane lower his eyes during that scene.
when he gets past, he's like, "Monica."
What?
No, my only chance.
My chance at a three-way. Trust me, you spent that much on a car. You could find a three-way. You'll be all right.
I guarantee you that they probably haven't showered in a couple days.
Yeah.
Did you show me a what's it called? Like a funny remix of the movie, like only the race part?
Yeah, we watched the entire movie, like Drive Fast, and that's where
No.
Kane.
We didn't watch the entire thing. We only watched that one funny scene. But yeah,
No, we watched the entire movie.
but anyways,
Are you drunk?
in that movie, so in Fast and Furious, Dominic and what's his name, Brian, were so close, but in the other movie, they weren't close at all. He ran out of gas and he just went to a dead stop. Like no skid, no nothing, just dead stop.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you notice that every single time anybody stopped, whoever was driving that red car, I was like, and they skid to a stop. Like, damn, bro, learn how to drive.
I know. Everybody's like wrecking their brakes every time they stop.
Everybody was driving a red car. Except, Dominic was driving the red car.
But then you get like, okay, so then like obviously Dom wins the race, right? But like,
Yeah.
Too soon.
Then the cops show up, and
Dude.
like all of a sudden Brian knows how to drive.
Well,
because he pulls that, he drifts, like, but before he couldn't keep up with everybody.
I can turn corners, but I can't drive
I don't
straight,
know how to
boss. Well, the thing is also like, if they are in LA or San Francisco, I'm pretty sure that there's like murders that go on in that town, you know? And there's like, you know what? Fuck all the murders. F all of everything else. We need to get as many cops involved as we can for street racing. And so like there's like, we have street racing, all hands on deck. They started calling people from like Daly City and fucking Redondo Beach, and they were like, we need every cop within 1,000-mile radius right here, right now for street racing. And then all of a sudden Brian's like, Dom's in the alley.
And so he goes and saves him. And then he does, like, if you saw him doing that drift the way he did and like going around the cop car, like, you know he's faking. Like, he actually knows how to drive.
Before that, so he drops off the RX-7 at the building, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't get it back, and then all of a sudden he has it back, and then like towards the end of the movie.
Because he was just around the corner, bro. Maybe that's his parking spot.
It wasn't just around the corner. It was like at least a mile away.
It was hidden. But then they go back to Dom's house and everybody's partying, and they're like, hey, Dom, I'm glad to see you here. And he's like, how dare you? I'm Dom. Nothing's more than family, you know? And anyways, then he's like, oh. And then that's where the big reveal comes. that Brian is actually a secret or cop or something.
He's a cop, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then Vince, he's all super jealous that Brian's part of the crew, and he peeks off as his weird ass prayer. You know, he's like, you know what? I'm leaving here. You guys can have your own chicken. And
You
like,
guys can have your own house back, even though I wasn't even invited to my own other person's house. And I went in here by breaking and entering.
And it was such a weird thing too, because like they go to the party. He's like, "Is this your beer?" And Vince is like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Give me it." And then he gives it to Brian. Like, here you go. Make sure you wipe the rim though, because he has herpes.
He has the mumps.
But he clearly only takes a sip just to piss off Vince.
Right. And he's like, oh. And then I like the whole thing. Like, clearly this movie was sponsored by Corona. He's like, you can have a beer only if it's Corona. It's light. It's refreshing. It's great with limes. You can have it at a beach. They start off to the whole Corona spiel about how it's the greatest beer ever invented. It's definitely better than fucking Bud Light.
What if in 2001, the year after it was made, they started making commercials about Vin Diesel doing the thing?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty messed up.
They just use him as a spokesperson.
Corona. It's all about family.
Do you have family barbecues? Get Coronas by the case.
It's a family beer.
Right.
Right, what if they just get, like, a giant, like, thing, like, you know, like whiskeys and stuff like that? What if they just get a giant thing like that?
So then what the hell happens? So now he's part of the crew now and everything like that. And then after the barbecue, Vince comes in. And I thought Vince was trying to like kind of lay down the hatchet, being like, hey, you know what? Like, we're kind of cool now. And he kind of made the joke of, you know, when you're done washing the dishes, why don't you wash my car? You know, like it was kind of a funny joke, you know, but then the sister, Dom's sister, got all serious. She's like, where'd you want to take on a date? And then she's like, hey, Brian, you can take me on that. You know, I mean, that does happen in real life. Anybody whose name is Brian and they have a friend and they have a sister, you know how many sisters anyways. Zinger right there. And then they go out on a date, and then what? I think that Hector guy, if there's any Hispanic dude in a movie called Hector, it's always the same guy. I love that guy, dude.
That guy's great.
It's
I love that guy.
Such a nice guy. Because even he goes into the place to order all those parts, and he's in such a good mood, like, hey, what's up, Brian? Yeah. And they're just talking shit, you know, and everything like that. Yeah. Hector's such a fucking amazing dude. I love Hector, man.
I know. I have no problems with Hector.
You know, but then Brian's dumbass. And then here's a question for me, okay? So Hector owns his own shop, right?
Yeah.
So why the fuck did he go to Harry's, I guess, to get that shit? So then Brian...
Everybody goes to Harry's.
Oh, all right. That makes sense. Like, that makes a lot of sense, I guess. So Brian breaks into Hector's garage, even though literally right across like the alley, they're all partying there. And you're just like, damn, Brian is pretty crazy. Like, why would he break into Hector's shop if they're literally like, I don't know, 8 yards away from him?
Yeah.
You know? And so then he gets busted, and there's like, you're this. And then...
Yeah, he gets busted by Dom and Vince.
And there's like, you're a cop. And he's like, no, I'm not. And there's like, you know what? I believe you. Let's break into the Asian people's fucking...
Okay, this is like, how many red flags do you have to throw up before somebody's like, I think you're a cop. You're a cop.
You arrested people in front of me.
Later on, Dom gets so betrayed. And it's like... It was in front of your face the entire time.
But he did tell him that it was for the race wars, you know. But I was winner of a race war once, but it was a different.
I know where you're going.
I've won that championship multiple times, actually. But anyways, okay. So then they go to Tran, whatever the fuck his
Johnny
name
Tran.
was,
Yeah,
and
the Asian male model,
then the Asian male model who
perfect
owns a
cheekbones.
restaurant and a thing and a what do you call it? A mechanic shop and can drive and everything like that. And then he also is a mobster because then the guy he's like, let's put oil in his mouth.
Oh yeah,
and you're like,
you want? What are you thinking? 40 weight or 50 weight?
exactly.
You know
And
what
so
else?
then
Does it matter?
they get out of there, right? What?
Oh,
They
I
get
said,
out of
does it
there.
matter? Sorry.
And then they go. So now that's Brian's proof that he's not a cop. And so then Dom takes him back to his house. Ooh, whoa. Dom takes him back to his house and he shows him his car and tells him the story about how his dad died and everything like that. And then the beautiful moment of I live my life a quarter mile at a time
Oh my
comes
god!
into play. And like that
Oh yeah,
instantly
this
got a semi right in my pants.
You know
this
what's
is right after. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
you know what's messed up? All of the Asian people in the movies, they all ride like a motorcycle. Like what was it, Bloodsport? He also drove a Kawasaki Ninja.
Frank Dukes wasn't. Oh, I'm so upset with you, Kane. You're talking about best of the best, and you're talking about Tommy.
Oh yeah.
Get off the call.
All right, see
See,
you guys.
okay, this was the point I did have to Google. Like, is because there was a term. I'm going to say it. Please don't get offended. Like, like when I was a teenager, that you would see people on like a Kawasaki or something like that, and they call it a rice.
Oh yeah, a rice burner.
Or a rice burner. Yeah. So like I had to look that up. Like, is that considered racist? Like I don't know.
Is it?
I don't think so.
I don't think it is. It's
Okay.
a bullet bike. Bullet bike, rice burner. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't think it was.
All right. But
All right.
But yeah.
And then-
so
so-
yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so Brian and Dom's sister go on the date, and then they get the call that, hey, we're going to run on Tran's family. What if they said, we're going to run a train on Tran's family? Are you in? Yes or no? And they said yes. And so there's the montage of the police and everybody getting ready to do this. And then I was talking with Kane. I was like, dude, look at Brian's eyes. Like, they are like the most beautiful blue eyes in the world, man. So you're telling me if I arrested you, like me, I can't rob banks with a mask on because it'd be like, Brian, I see your eyebrows, bro. There's only you, the dad from Apple Pie or American Pie.
Oh yeah, Eugene Levy.
It's just you two that have those eyebrows, man. And I don't think Eugene Levy's going to be robbing banks.
The caterpillars.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like Lemony Snicket's.
But he gets arrested and taken to their bungalow, like that they overtook, like their $5 million bungalow.
Yeah. And then, there's the scene too, the famous, how much your car costs? He's like, more than you got, pal. It's a Ferrari. And then he gets dusted. Like, what a nerd, right?
But the thing that annoyed me about most of the races in this movie is that it comes down to how fast are you going and when do you hit the NOS. Like, all you have to do is just like be ahead and then hit the NOS, or wait for the other person to hit the NOS and then stay with them and then hit your NOS. Like,
see, my entire life I've been playing race car games, and I know when to hit the nitro.
I about beat a world record on my game, except I lost it by 2 seconds. No, I'm not kidding. Upstairs, the Xbox. I about beat a game. It was another racing game. It was a rally car game, and I got super sad. I did beat the world record. I lost it by 2 seconds.
Well,
And
you should be El Gigante, and you could have won it.
the world record was 2 minutes and 28 seconds. I got 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Weird, because I probably set that record at 2 minutes and flat. But anyways,
Yeah, no way.
somebody. You know what else I noticed about the movie? Any time that they went anywhere, they always had upfront parking.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's crazy, man. You know? And then... Oh, what?
No, I was just saying, like... Hold on one second.
Well, so then they also... I think the next one is what? Dom and Brian are at the restaurant eating scrimps. And he's like... Hey, man, don't be grumpy because that's your meal ticket. He's like, no, I pay for my own meals. I can pay for these shrimp. I want to get in on your side hustle. And you're like, you know what? The scene right before that was Hector giving you a fat-ass bankroll.
Yeah.
So what do you mean, man? Like, how offended...
Well, I feel
if
like
I was
a
like,
lot of
Anthony,
that...
I know you're doing something because you have a new car. And you're like, yeah, it's not paid for. Like, I'm still doing payments. I don't care. I know that you're doing something illegally because you're doing better than me. Wouldn't you be like, you know what? That's messed up, bro.
Yeah. But no, like that whole part, like he's putting on like an act is just to get Dom to open up. Which that would be the next red flag because this feels like weird behavior that you don't normally do.
Or even when he went to the restaurant with his sister and he's like, hey, how's Jesse? What's his criminal background? What's yours? What's this? What's that? What's this?
You sound like a cop.
Exactly. You know? And so then Dom, after they've already done all this stuff together, he's like, one more test. You have to go to the race wars with me.
Yeah.
You know? And then when they go to the race wars, it's so weird because every person there, every race in the entire movie is $2,000 a race. So do you just have like...
Is this like the going rate?
Of 2 G's just rolled up every time. And so what? Dom's girlfriend gets hit on. The guy's like, hey, I buy a race for that ass. She's like, it's $2,000. Then she shows him. And he's like, oh, I got that. Oh, and then it's like, how about these $2,000? You know, if you were a criminal, go to the race wars and rob every fucking person there, and you would come up. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to win a single race.
Exactly. Just go there for 10 minutes. Rob everybody there, and then you're good to go.
But, like, this is the thing that I have with this movie is I feel like there's 15 main characters and 3 main plots, and I don't know which one is the most important. Which was like, you know, like you have the Brian and Dom thing, and then you have the race wars thing, and then you have the Johnny Tran thing, and everything is supposed to like resolve, but it's like, what is the most important thing, and why does it have to happen before another
right
thing?
Yeah, and then after that Jesse goes up and he thinks that his goddamn Jetta is gonna beat like a Honda in a race,
a souped up Honda. Yeah.
And then it just so happens that he thinks that he's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then it's like, well, that was your dad's car, but your dad's in prison, so guess what, Kane, if I ever go to prison for the rest of my life, you, I guess, have permission to do whatever you want with my car because I'm in prison for the rest of my life. However, if you do anything with my car and add those bullshit decals, did you say that every single person had the same decal?
Not every single person, but every single person that was with Vin Diesel or him had this exact same decal. And when I say the exact same decal, I'm not kidding. I'm not playing around.
Somebody pointing at the front of the car.
No, it's somebody
the side.
It's somebody who's sitting down with a sword, pointing.
Or a bow and arrow, or a bow.
Yeah, I just realized that. I didn't know.
Yes. So Jesse loses, and just like Forrest Gump? Is that what you're laughing at? Just like Forrest
drives off.
Jesse loses. He's like, nope, I'm leaving here. And just fucking drives off. He doesn't go back. He's like, well, the race is actually 100 miles, not this cross country.
No consequences.
Shit was so fucking funny. He was like, "Nah, I'm going," and he just continues to drive, bro.
Doesn't count.
Like, god damn.
He doesn't even react. He just drives off. Like his only words were the F word, and that's all. Like he just goes off.
He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna get grounded."
He's like,
as a 37-year-old man driving a Jetta that's decked out with decals, I would be grounded.
It's like, he's for real has to be in that music video where it's like making my way downtown, walking.
Yeah. So then, Dom races off in the middle of the night, and wait, I'd like to, dude, I forgot to mention any of this. Anytime that there's like a race going on, specific races were grouped together. So there's like the group of white people that had their cars, they were friends, and the group of black people that had their cars, their friends. The group of Hispanics had their cars, their friends, but they were all friends together. So why do you guys separate yourself? You guys go to the same meets and hang out and everything like that, but every time that you guys go, like you're just like, no, let's stay over here by us. You know, don't interact with them, but not interact. Don't park by them. But then they still go and they hang out. Everybody was still friends.
Yeah,
I know.
I thought that was. I didn't realize that, but now that you mention it, I kind of do. Still don't, but that's okay.
Yeah. So then, what? Dom races off with his girl and Vince.
Letty and Vince, and normally they go with Jesse to do
but Jesse wasn't
robbery.
there because Jesse was
still driving away from the race.
The thing is, like, the robbery went almost exactly the same. So, like, what does Jesse actually do that is different than what happened?
I guess they just go with Jesse.
The guy had a gun. That's the only difference. Yeah. But, like, and we have this weird, like, faceless arm with a shotgun that just keeps shooting at them. Like, it was so strange.
So that's what we were going to say in the earlier in this episode, was that the police were like, every semi-truck driver has now been armed. And you're just like, how much are Dom and everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're already dangerous enough driving around a fucking semi-truck delivering shit, going to hit up all those lot lizards, using your pants as napkins. Like, what? So then I loved it. Like, I even told Kane, I was like, oh, I loved it when Vince was getting his ass whooped and getting shot at and his arm being locked into place. I was like, good. That's what he gets for being a criminal, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just desserts.
And then Jesse, the girl, or Lenny, what the hell? Letty. She wrecks
like
and rolls and everything like that. And then there's so much that goes on in this scene, man. Like, Vin Diesel gets his tires popped, but yet they
Still
don't
driving.
get popped.
Yeah.
Right?
then-
Like,
Still
it's
driving
bulletproof,
really
but not
fast.
bulletproof.
Well, it clearly got popped.
Yeah.
And then she rolls her car, and then he gets out and he's like, oh, I'm going to pick you up, and then picks her up. Don't support her neck or spine or anything like that. Just get her back into your car.
Well, that's the other part that I was just like, you know, why don't you have the car with the bum wheel? Why don't you go back? The other guy goes forward. I get it. It's supposed to be Dom. It's supposed to be the hero, but like
yeah. And then it was also funny because did you hear? He's like, when Brian and Dom's sister, there's like, he's 40 miles ahead of us. You're just like, how is he 40 miles ahead of you? He left 5 minutes before you.
He's a good driver, Dad. Just listen.
He should be right there. You know? So then Brian comes to save the day, and he gets Vince off the truck and blah, 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 blah. And then it's opened up that Brian is a cop, you know? And it
Dom
hurts
is so
Dom,
betrayed.
so he's so mad. He's like, ooh, how dare you? Ooh. And then the next day, like, Brian shows up to Dom's house, and he's like, hey, man, we're doing... They pull guns on each other, and then fucking, like in the movie Boys in the Hood, they roll up. Tran and his homie roll up and fucking start blasting Jesse.
Oh, they get Jesse, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, you owe me that shitty Jetta. Like, what are you going to do with that car, man? Like, you know what would be funny is like if there's like, yeah, you owe me your car, and then as soon as they give them the car, they just throw a Molotov cocktail in it, and they're just like, thanks, we didn't even need this shit. It sucks. You know,
That'd be pretty messed up, honestly.
it'd be pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it'd be pretty hilarious also, but it'd still be messed up.
So then, here's my correction, okay? So, the two Asian dudes on the motorcycles shoot up Jesse and kill him. And then Brian gets into his car. Was it his car or was it? Yeah, that was the one they've been working on. That's not Dom's car, right?
No, that's the one he brought him because he said, give me a 10-second car.
Oh, you 10-second car, bro. I love you. And so then Dom gets in his car and turns the other way, which is kind of weird.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, so they start going, and Brian and Dom end up taking out the Asian motorcyclist. And I thought that, you know, back in 2001 when I saw this, that there were a lot more Asian gangsters that were killed in this scene.
Yeah. There's a lot of movement here for very little kills.
I guess it was just the best ones. Like, remember the ones that were oiling that guy?
Yeah, those are the ones.
Greased him
and
up.
So then Brian does that e-brake turn to a 90-degree, and he's like, pew, 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 and kills him right for the tunnel. And then he sees Dom.
Like, when I saw that, I was like, it looks cool. Not possible.
Right? He's like, I got this. And so then he goes.
Like you're a
and
sharpshooter with a 9mm. Give me a break.
Right? Because when the Asian guys were driving and they were shooting, literally every single car around them got shot up except for him. And you're just like, oh, really?
Another thing that you noticed in it, like, I saw that every other car got beaten up, but how? And also another one was when the dirt bike got off and slowed down to get behind the MK4. I like to point out that the MK4 doesn't have a, like, what's it called? Like, what I noticed is it didn't, from my view, it didn't have a, like, rear windshield. And if it doesn't have a rear windshield, how can you shoot up the guy because he doesn't have a rear windshield and they're shooting through the windshield?
Who knows, man?
Like, it's not like it's not like the bullet is air and it's going up and over the car into the thing.
Yeah. But then Dom and Brian are chasing each other, and then all of a sudden there's a red light, and you're just like, God damn it. And then he's like, I used to race here in high school. That's exactly a quarter mile away. We could do this. And you're just like, okay, so what happens if Brian wins? Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? And so then all of a sudden, there's like, all right, let's go. And so they start racing, and there's a train, and it starts to remind me of like fucking the Bone Thugs and Harmony, like "See You at the Crossroads" song.
Yes,
it was like, well, all right, one of them is going to get killed by the train, you know? And he's like, oh. And so then Dom wrecks, and he just sits in his car breathing hard, like, did you see what just happened, bro? Like, he's all scared.
He like wrecked his dad's car.
That was his car.
Yeah, his car given to him by his dad, and he souped it up. Yeah.
Like, did you see what else?
Bro, like, what the hell is going on?
Did you see what else?
Yeah, I saw the credits roll.
No, so in slow motion, you could see that the train. So in slow motion, everything goes the same speed. It goes very, very slow. But
oh yeah,
the train was hauling while the cars were just flying.
Yeah, that's like, how fast the cars were going.
Yeah, they weren't going fast at all. I'm guessing
they were not. No, like that looked so safe. With like the slow motion just amplified. Like there is no danger here.
It didn't even look like it damaged the car that good. Like, it didn't even look like it damaged, what's it called?
Yeah.
Dominic's car.
Yeah, exactly. But then the cops show up or are on their way. You hear the sirens. and then
The movie
Dom
ends.
starts. Yeah, and then Dom starts freaking out, and then Brian's like, "I owe you a 10-second car." So he gives him his car.
Yep.
Worst FBI agent ever.
Yep. So basically,
ending ever
Brian goes
also.
on, and he loses 2 cars bought by the government.
Yes.
He
Wait, bought by
lets
the
Dom
government?
go.
Which
He lets Dom go because he was a
Yeah.
cop.
he's still an FBI agent in the second movie. How does this happen?
He was FBI. I thought he was just a regular cop.
Or whatever he is. He's like, how does he not get fired?
Yeah, so he lets Dom go. He loses both those cars. They kill a bunch of Asian gangsters. They wreck the whole fucking town up. The mystery of who was goddamn robbing those trucks is still unsolved. There's those 3 Honda Civics that are in the middle of the desert because they fucking botched the semi robbery.
Oh yeah, I remember that part.
He was harboring a felon, and they're just like, you know what? Roll credits, bro. And then this blows my
Walk
mind.
off.
How the fuck did they make 12 more of these?
For real. Like
Because
English, Spanish, Russian, Chinese, Japanese. We got German.
we go to space.
What the?
That's what I said. We need to do a spider graph. We need to do a spider graph of how this is. Because if it's like, 30 years later.
Also, you were asking about Vince, and you're asking about, and I also did like obviously Jesse. Jesse's dead, but however, Vince.
Well, it's not. Jesse comes back as RoboCop.
But yeah, no, Vince will not return until the 5th movie.
God damn it.
I know.
Do you want to watch 1 through 5?
No.
It's weird fan service at that point. It's like Vince is like, I don't like him. Why? Like, what are you doing here?
I hope he crashed in that Jetta.
Dude. Well, that was Jesse. But all right, man.
All
God
right.
damn it. We'll decide. Well, now, it kind of makes you like, without even knowing, in 2001,
Yeah.
in 2001, just watching this, that's why I was like, this movie sucks so much ass.
It's a terrible movie.
Because the ending, there's so many. Who gets charged for the crimes? Who gets charged for killing the Asian gangsters? Where's this fucking car? Like,
I don't know.
what the hell? All this shit. There's like, you know what? Fuck yourself. Don't ask those questions.
Why are you asking so many questions? It's cool car races. Shut up.
Like this is why, like horror movies, you go, you sit there, you shut the fuck up, you turn your brain off, and you watch this movie. This one, you're just like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Why are there so many loose ends?
Exactly.
This is why you do horror movies and not action.
Exactly.
Dude.
But no, like you mentioned Too Fast, Too Furious. I'd be okay with throwing in a second October movie.
Maybe.
That one gets more insane.
Maybe. More insane. The only reason why I ever thought that I'd watch Too Fast, Too Furious was because I thought the jaw rule scene was in number 2.
No, that's in 1.
Yeah,
but he
so
is
now-
in 2.
I've never seen a single piece of number 2. I thought the jaw rule racing was in number 2.
I just want to see Brian's anger get bigger. That's what I want.
I've seen those clips on Instagram where he's talking to Tyrese. He's like, "No, cuz, leave him alone, cuz."
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want to see that shit. So I mean, maybe, God damn it, I can honestly say I've never seen another Fast and Furious movie, man.
Honestly, I've never seen a Fast and Furious thing in the first place because my dad won't let me because he'll, like, for real, he doesn't like them.
Yeah, it blows ass. But anyways, all
No,
right,
bro,
all right.
it
This
sucks.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
thank you for listening.
Sorry
All right.
for me being on my tyrant. Thanks, everybody.
Later.
Everything gets berated. No one is underrated. From the screen to the stage, we set the new cage. No mercy.